Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another Moment with Michelle. We've been talking about the Enneagram for about 7 weeks now. We've been trying to cover each type, and today we're going to talk about type 7. But I'm going to remind you, the Enneagram typology is based on value, meaning there are 9 types and each of them have a value that drives them or motivates them. And when that value gets compromised or threatened in some way, we get vulnerable. And in that vulnerability, we begin to overcompensate. So what the Enneagram is doing is showing you how you've kind of been painted in a corner and how to get out of it. So type 7s, if you're looking, by the way, to figure out what type you are on the Enneagram scale, think about when you were 20. When you look at some of those lists about the different types, think about when you were in your 20s, and that will help you kind of get in the right spot there. So type 7s are outgoing, playful, upbeat. They see the bright side of everything. They're busy, they're spontaneous, they're versatile. You might be an Enneagram 7 if your litmus test for saying yes to something is it going to be fun? Is it going to be fun? You might be a type 7 if you invented FOMO, the fear of missing out. Right? Type 7s invented that. If you reframe bad situations into positive situations, you might be a type 7. If you're not a fan of criticism, if you love to snuggle, if you like to be spontaneous, if your best days are when you're with people, you might be a type 7. If you want to be a circus performer, a CEO, a lawyer, and a yoga teacher all at the same time, all in the same lifetime, you might be a type 7. The value, the thing that type 7s value is joy, genuine joy. So they're motivated by satisfaction, contentment, happiness, freedom. Now remember last week we were talking about type 6s, and they're motivated, their value is faithful commitment. So they're motivated by a desire to be safe, secure, protected. See how different that is from a type 7 who wants satisfaction, contentment, happiness, freedom? So when they get vulnerable, when your type 7s start to feel vulnerable because their value of joy is somehow being challenged, they can become gluttonous in their pleasure seeking. So they're just compulsively gorge themselves on the next pleasure experience, whether that's a concert or taking the 2-year-old to the Sonic or running through the Starbucks on your way to work or planning the next adventure trip, whatever it is, trying exotic foods. They begin to gorge themselves on pleasure activities when they feel vulnerable. And they overcompensate. So the way they overcompensate is they avoid pain. Remember, they value joy, so they avoid pain. They avoid unpleasantness. They avoid emotional pain. That's how they overcompensate. So they're reframing bad situations all the time. Now, type 7s, everyone wants in their life. Type 7s, we can call them the enthusiast, and their superpower is that they liven up any room that they walk into. They are the joy bringers. They bring joy to everyone. So we all want type 7s in our life. If you're raising an Enneagram 7, if it sounds like you might be raising an Enneagram 7, go have some adventure. They love adventure. Go have some adventures with them. Listen to their stories. Laugh with them. Nurture them with all the hugs and affirmation. And then gently help them stay with their problem, their pain, long enough to find the lesson. That's the thing that as a child, if they'll learn to do that, then they won't be running from pain as an adult. Those are some great tips if you're raising an Enneagram 7. Have some adventures with them, listen to their stories and laugh with them, nurture them with hugs and affirmation, and then help them stay with their problem until they find the lesson in it. Help them stay in their pain until they resolve. Now, if you are a type 7, we all love being around you. And the point of the Enneagram is not just to know your number, but to use it as personal development. personal growth. And so some tips for type 7s, if you're wanting to grow, would be get off the treadmill that tells you you have to have more, that more is always better. Get off that treadmill. It's not true. It's a lie. And the second tip is develop a practice of solitude. Now, all of us need this. We all need some kind of silence practice, but type 7s, man, this is a game changer for you. Develop a practice of solitude, whatever that looks like for you. And finally, I would suggest when you have a friend who is in pain, simply be present with them. Now, I don't want you to start with yourself because that's too hard, but start with a friend. If you have a friend that's in pain, just be present with them in their pain without cheering them up, without suggesting, let's go get a banana split. Once you learn to sit with a friend in pain or a partner or a child in pain, then you can learn to sit with yourself in some pain too and get to a place of resolve instead of a place of running. I'm Michele Gooch with Life by Design. That is the information in a nutshell about Enneagram type 7s. There's so much more, but that's just the beginning of it. I know we all want to live a life that is full of purpose, a life where we're being who we were designed to be. And so much of the time, we don't know who we are anymore, and that gets in the way, right? And we tend to second guess ourselves. We tend to hold back. We tend to feel like we're not enough, and that paralyzes us, or at least delays us getting to where we want to go. And I've had the privilege of creating a framework that moves us from this place of second guessing to actually progressing to the place we want to be, the place that we're designed for. If you're interested in that, you can find me at www.lifebydesign.guru, lifebydesign.guru. I'd love to partner with you in that. Next week, we will talk about type 8s. Type 8s are fabulous and fascinating, so join us Wednesday at 1 to hear about type 8s. I'll see you then.